Hey, this is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life, bringing you the AA word of the day for March 16th, 2027. As we understand Him. Uh, I learn something every day. I put March 17th in as March 16th, the reading, but I learned how to edit these and get it back to the original order, although the voice you'll hear, that I don't know how to correct, except by doing it all over, and I don't feel like doing it all over. So the 17th will actually, you'll hear me saying the 16th, I think. Or, yeah, I hadn't taped the 16th. So, yay, word of the day for today is as we understand him. My friend suggested what then seemed a novel idea. Why don't you choose your own conception of God? That statement hit me hard. It melted the icy intellectual mountain in whose shadow I had lived and shivered many years. I stood in the sunlight at last. It was only a matter of being willing to believe in a power greater than myself. Nothing more was required of me to make my beginning. And that comes from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, page 12. And here's the commentary. I remember the times I looked up in the sky and reflected on who started it all and how. When I came to AA, an understanding of some description of the spiritual dimension became a necessary adjunct to a stable sobriety. After reading a variety of versions, including the scientific of a great explosion, I went for simplicity and made God of my understanding the great power. That made the explosion possible. With the vastness of the universe under his command, he would no doubt be able to guide my thinking and actions. I was prepared to accept his guidance, but I could not expect help if I turned my back on that help and went my own way. I became willing to believe, and I have had 26 years of stable sobriety. So, this is another very good reading. They're all good readings, I guess. Yeah, my life revolves solely around myself. And that was absolutely true to me, for me. Uh, I picked up the first drink at 13, but 13, 14, 15, 16. I just turned 17 in April of 67. That's the year I graduated from high school and went to college. And in college, my drinking picked up. Uh, and it grew from there. I associated with drinkers. Then I had the thought, well, everybody drinks. But that was because that was the group that I chose to hang around with, and everybody did drink in that group. And I wouldn't really hang out with a group of teetotalers, and it was very easy to drink on campus. It was during the Vietnam War. Uh, I didn't get drafted till 1970, so I had three, or the beginning of 71. And most of the students there were for the student deferment, but eventually President Nixon got rid of that. So there was just partying and drinking, and LSD came in around that time really big. I'd never heard of it. I did it one time, didn't like it. I definitely didn't like pot. I didn't even like the smell of it. So I kind of didn't do very many drugs at all. Uh, I like drinking, and that satisfied whatever need I had in me. And I went through this. I always believed in God, and back then the Big Bang Theory wasn't really this. This writer mentions it, but it wasn't widely taught. Uh, I believe God created the universe, that He was outside time and space. Uh, I believe He gave us minds so that we could figure our problems out, and that's pretty much where it stood until I came into AA. I really didn't ask Him for help. I had resentments, being born into a big family, which I appreciate now, but didn't then, because it was always, especially when you end up, after the death of my brother, end up being the oldest one in the family. I just like, why me? Why have I got to be the example? That my parents are pushing me hard, and these other guys got it easy. And my brother who died in 2023 would say to me, "Joe, you had it so easy." Now this is my brother that didn't finish high school. My mother always looked after him. Never really. He said I had it easy. So we had completely differing viewpoints on things. And it was easy for you to quit drinking. And it was easy for this and it was easy for that. Well, I can't quit. We have those kind of discussions. And I tried to tell him that he could, and he just didn't want to hear it. But, that's the way. You've got to accept that you're powerless, that you can't control things. And he just couldn't do that. So, and this statement from the Alcoholics Anonymous, page 62. Above everything, we alcoholics must be rid of this selfishness. We must, or it kills us. And I am absolutely 100% convinced that I would not be alive today if I did not put the drink down on March 4th, 1991. And as my sponsor said to me, he was so glad that I quit the day before I died. And it took a while for that to sink in, but it may very well have been. I had no control over my life, and I miss him very much. He he went out and never made it back in, and his his family did not really put anything in the paper or anything, so I had no way of knowing that he had died. I just was lost touch with him. I, I had done that once before, and he went to a nursing home, but then he got back on track, and I saw him at meetings, and I figured he was okay. But as things changed in my life, I changed meetings, with jobs and with shift changes and working overtime. I couldn't go to a particular meeting, so I kind of, and he didn't answer any of my calls. He had a little flip phone. And then I found out that he had died. He never made it back in. And I just wished he would have called me and we could have flipped the roles and I would have been his sponsor. but it didn't happen. And I'm so grateful to him. I will never ever speak bad of him. He taught me everything I know about AA. You're a very, very good man. Is that? So I'm going to close it now. Have a safe and sober Sunday. And I've already taped the 17th by error. So I'll have some news for you on the 18th of how things are going with the house. And hopefully by the 19th, everything's secure and we'll get ready for another hurricane season. God bless.